Hey everybody, welcome to Speedbump. It's time for Jackie Chan's Action Kung Fu 8-pack race to see who gets the furthest. I set amount of time, 30 minutes this time. We're pulling audio from player 2. Have you played this South Blues?
I have. I think I even did some casual speedruns of it a long time ago. This is an extremely good platformer. It feels pretty good to play and feels good to try to go fast in, so it's seen some speedrun love.
I can see that. This game is on Arcade Pit sometimes. I've played through it a little bit. I think everybody's good to go whenever they are ready.
Alright, well let's find out who's not ready yet. There we go. Everyone is readied up, so here's the countdown.
Alright. 30 minutes on the clock.
If our players take their time and don't die a lot, which is not trivial in this game, it's tricky in a few spots. If they were to just take their time and not die a lot, 30 minutes is actually fairly reasonable for this game. It's a fairly standard platformer, but the cool thing about it is that you get these power-ups that give you special kung fu moves. So there's like a spinning kick and a like an angled kick and different types of moves that you get as power-ups that drop from certain enemies, and they have charges to them. So like, you know, one of them has 7 charges, and you can see the counter at the bottom in the middle.
Yeah, that part's a little weird, but I do remember that system.
Outside of that, this is just a fairly straightforward, pretty competent platformer. I mean, it feels good to play. It's not particularly weird or janky. It's pretty well designed and feels good, so. Yeah, there's a TurboGrafx version. Smite was saying there's a GBA version, and I don't know how similar they are.
The GBA game is absolutely just a beat 'em up. It's nothing like this.
Okay. The TurboGrafx game is a platformer as well, but I don't think it's just like a copy of the levels, so it might be worth taking a look at sometime.
Fun fact, if you set Milan to Chinese voice acting, the singer for the Be a Man is Jackie Chan.
Is it really? I didn't know that.
Pretty sure. He's a voice actor in like Kung Fu Panda as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Pretty sure. I'm not super good at that kind of knowledge, but I think that's true.
I know that he was a fairly popular / accomplished singer in China, so.
He also had a Disney show of sorts that was a little silly, so that might be why. He's just got a tie
the name of that, but yeah, I definitely remember that. Well, they all have very similar names, which is why it's a little bit confusing. They're all action kung fu, to my knowledge.
Yeah.
Jackie Chan Adventures. Gotcha. Oh, is the GBA game not action kung fu? Is the GBA game Jackie Chan Adventures?
That might be what it is. Yeah, it probably is based on the show.
Because I know that the TurboGrafx one is also Jackie Chan Action Kung Fu.
Really obliterating these guys. Oh, it's a bonus, okay. What are these things we're buying with our point?
Lives, more health, and I'm not sure what the last thing is, though. I don't remember what those orbs are in the bottom right. They may be like pickups you get in order to collect extra lives, like Mario coins. Last one's fireballs. Okay. Darkman's mentioning the task. By the way, Darkman is hosting a competition. I don't know if there's still time to participate, but Darkman's hosting a competition over on task video for, let's say, amateur taskers, maybe people who don't have experience, to work as a team to do a task. About a week left for signups, Darkman says. You should definitely check that out. He's posted a link in the Speedbump chat on Smite's Discord. And if you're thinking to yourself, tasking is pretty cool, but I don't have a lot of experience, you're exactly the target audience for it. So, might be an opportunity for you to become a tasker. I'm not 100% certain, but I'm pretty sure Darkman became a tasker from Speedbump to begin with, so.
I would say that that's a good way to jump into it, yeah. It looks like a lot of fun, too. All of our players are about the same here.
Yeah, everyone's doing really well. And some of these segments that they're working through right now are pretty tricky, so our players getting through them somewhat smoothly is a good sign.
I believe Okami and Tarragon are in the lead at the moment.
Okami mentioned that it had been a long time, but that I believe he said he's beaten this game or speedrun it before. I don't remember which, but Okami is definitely the person in this group who has experience going into this, so.
Time Sucker also is doing really well. Digi, I feel like they have seen this boss before. Clobbering it.
There are limited continues in this game, so I originally had told them that they were welcome to use the cheat code for unlimited continues, but we discovered that required a second controller, which was just a little tricky to input, so we didn't end up using it. But honestly, with unlimited continues, we could probably see a handful of completions in 30 minutes.
Beautiful sound design. Love the NES.
I do like the NES's sound. I
do.
I guess I don't know the right word for it, but like, you know, Genesis has its iconic sound to it.
People usually
I
say
don't
the
care for that as
chipset
much.
or whatever
Yeah.
that produces it, the instruments that you can use on it. And the Genesis is a bit bass heavy, drums and stuff. It's really, I feel like I should like it more than I do. I just, it hardly ever.
The best way I've ever heard it described is Brosench always calls it electro farts.
it's not always. Like Sonic is a good standard. Here's how you use this, fellas. That they tried to set that nobody really did too much. Because like, man, that ice cap zone hits in a way that no other Genesis music does. NES, on the other hand, is full of bangers. Some of the moves that you get in this game are so wild.
Yeah, and they're definitely like of questionable usefulness in some cases. Like one of the moves gets a lot of use. If I remember correctly, it's been a long time. If I remember correctly, the like air roll, like the one that lets you fly through the air, gets a lot of use in the speedrun because you can use it to skip some stuff. But the other ones aren't very practical. They're very strong. You can do a lot of damage with them, but
yeah, Time Suckers rolling around with their air dash. It looks pretty good. The kick I'm familiar with, also as being a pretty good weapon. definitely feels like the roll is great. It's giving iframes, it looks like, or at least it's doing damage while you move.
Right. Yeah, it's meant to be an attack, but because you're basically just flying through the air for 2 seconds, you can...
Kirby's fire charge is what it is.
Yeah.
Oof. Time Stalker's dying on this stage again. They have a limited number of continues.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you only start with 5 continues. Each continue you get... I guess just 1 life. So it's 5 lives.
You get 5 Jackies. That's all you get.
5 Jackies.
The lava level is giving most of the players trouble. 3 of them have cleared it. Riding on shells.
So this stage that Okami's on right now is very similar to the part of the TurboGrafx game I was watching when I was trying to figure out whether or not they're the same game. I still think the answer's no, they're dissimilar enough, but...
Damn, this game should have called them chances.
Oh, I get it. I don't like it now.
Why did you laugh when you didn't get it?
Well, I mean, I was like the weird ways that lives get named in NES games. So I just thought you were doing a bit about like how lives got turns or attempts or something. And then I was like, oh no, it's a pun, and I hate it.
You get 5 men. Defeated the monk, I guess, with the big stick. Tarragon is in the stage that Okami has been working on. Lots of platforming in this one. Is this the end in the sky? Is that this level? The clouds?
The clouds are the bonus levels.
There's one that is not a bonus level that is cloud jumping, and it ends with a boss fight.
Yeah, but I think that's one where you're like flying on a cloud to get to like a Raijin and Fujin fight or something.
Ooh, okay, so it's not instant death when you fall here, you just lose progress. Red Turtle's aggressive. Okami has made it to the river with the flying roll kick.
Okami's unsurprisingly making really good progress. This is a challenging game, but it's not terribly long, so.
That roll kick is so good. Everybody I see using it is winning. It's just... That's the ticket.
If you press the button, you win.
You know, that seems to be true. Time Stalkers at this boss again. Did they fully game over?
I believe so. I think we've seen a few full game overs, Time Stalker and Patty B specifically.
It won't take too long to get back in this game, at least.
No, once you know how to beat a part of it, theoretically getting back there can be extremely quick. I mean, it's a lot of knowledge checkpoints more than anything. Oh, was this a really late NES game? I didn't realize that. 1990 is like absolute end of the NES.
Don't look at Warriors Woods.
Yeah, I was gonna say, not, I guess, absolute end. Warriors Woods was what, like 94?
That sounds right. Even Kirby's Adventure was pretty late into it. And I feel like that's your iconic game. That's not 1993. And that's like the NES game.
That's wild, considering Super Mario World had already been out for 2 years at that point.
Yeah, they could have just put it out on this SNES. They could have just... It's a super looking game, though. It looks so good. Feels so nice. That's probably part of why, though.
It wouldn't shock me if they had put it out for the NES because it just had the bigger market share at the time. Like, more people had an NES. And
yeah,
people were still purchasing games.
At the time, people probably weren't looking to replace their console every 5 years, like us sickos, so...
Yeah, I mean, nowadays we kind of accept that, but I still remember, like, you can find on YouTube videos of news articles, or, you know, news interviews where they were, like, talking about the Super Nintendo, and mothers were like, we've already got a Nintendo. We do not have to purchase a new one for this Christmas.
That's true. That's the Wii U problem a little bit, but it's just the way the market was. Having it not be backwards compatible is something I complain about with every system. I always will. That's still a thing, and there's no reason for that, in my opinion. I won't buy a PS5 if I can't play them with PS3 games. I just won't do it.
Oh, you want that level of backwards compatibility?
That's right. I sure do.
I mean, I want that too. I guess I'm more meaning...
I want it enough that I won't buy it. I'll just find a different way to play it. Or I won't. Because I don't need a PS3, 2, 4, and 5 hooked up every year. I don't need all those. It's no need. I got the space for that. These digital games. I know the hardware is way different though. Eventually I'm gonna have to upgrade. The PS3 is apparently the weird one. The PS4 actually does seem to be okay for the most part. I think PS3 is just a weirdo system. And there's only a couple games on there I care about. The Xbox and the 360, it's like a half and half. They did some of that library. And I don't know what the one and the 360 is like. Well, the reason not to be backwards compatible is that it's super complicated sometimes, so I understand that. But, if they want my purchase, they're gonna have to bother. It's just something I'm not willing to put up with as a customer. Not whether it's a reasonable expectation or not is not my problem.
I mean, you're right, and I also get it, but it's also very funny. Tarragon refusing to miss a bonus game. Definitely going to make sure that it collects as many continues as possible.
The Game Boy Color being able to play... no, it was the Game Boy Advance being able to be played on the DS was so nice. That was such a good system. That made me want to buy one, like, in and of itself. I'm like, I can get 2 libraries on the handheld at once. And the DS games were crazy good. I gotta play some of the DS Manias again soon.
I can't believe they made Castlevanias for the DS.
They are the best games ever. They're so good. The defining Metroidvanias that I haven't seen their equal of. I wish they weren't so grindy, I guess, because if you want to like have all of the abilities and stuff, you're gonna be hitting this enemy and killing it 10,000 times. But other than that, really good gameplay and stuff going on.
I'm so lukewarm on giving them a shot because I feel like I was so blasé about Symphony of the Night, and I'm afraid it's going to be the same thing all over again.
Symphony of the Night is pretty, but it is not the same. I think one of the Symphony of the Night's big problems that just is not addressed even by hard mode difficulty mods is that it's really easy. It's like painfully easy. And you don't really have to play.
I'm not sure. I don't think Okami of Games is on the last world right now, but this is very late game. I'm recognizing this world in particular from my casual speedrun days of playing this game, and I feel like this is a very late game world.
I still haven't seen the world I'm thinking of, which ends in like a fight with a giant in the sky.
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about. We already saw that boss on Okami's feed.
I missed it. That one gives
So you're talking about the, you kind of get to see a bust of a Cyclops?
Yeah, that's it. If you fall, you get stepped on by him. I haven't seen this world. Yeah, but 1991 rolls around. My parents definitely had this discussion. What the hell is this thing? Why are we buying it? It's like $200 in 90s money. What? and they got it, and I get like 4 games, and I can't. We still have to have the old one hooked up because I can't play any of those. Then the Mario 64 jazz comes out, and that's a whole new thing. I think they understood it by then, that was just a new expense.
Yeah. It made more sense to people once they kind of realized. I mean, for a lot of people, their first home console was in the third generation, like NES and Sega Master System, so... I mean, for everyone else who had like a Commodore 64 and then replaced it with a ColecoVision or whatever order those consoles came in, or home computers came in, people were at least familiar with the idea of replacing hardware. Commodore 64 doesn't count as Gen 3? I'm not really sure what gets lumped in Gen 3. I just know that's where the NES is. And I know that for a lot of people is sort of their entry point into home consoles. Commodore 64 might have been Gen 3. I'm just thinking of some of the older ones. The ZX and the Amstrad and ColecoVision.
Laser beams.
What is this, Crash Man stage?
I think
the right one? Did I say the right Mega Man guy?
I don't think it is that stage. That stage has like moving platforms.
Which stage is the one with the giant beams that you have to time stop to get by?
That's a good question.
Can't even ask the Mega Man guy a Mega Man question.
Oh, you mean the instant death beams? That's Quick Man.
Quick Man, sorry, not Crash Man.
Yeah, there's just so many Robot Masters, it's easy to forget.
There's a lot fewer of them if you only consider the good games.
There's so many Robum. Anyway, I was gonna say, I was thinking about our topic here, and I realized that like Betamax and Laserdisc and VHS all prepared my folks for this nonsense coming up the road. I had to have some idea what this crap was.
So you were the first kid on your block to have a Super Nintendo because your parents got it?
Yeah, actually, my dad was just like best friends with a dude who ran a rental store and stuff, so he probably got a discount or something.
Gotcha.
But the SNES games I had were like the lousiest of them all. It was just like Double Dragon's weird, bad version. That one's so boring. I can't even remember. I don't think I had Mario World. I remember playing at somebody's house and being like, wow.
How do you not have Mario World? It comes with the Super Nintendo.
I think mine came with Mario Kart or something. I don't think I had Mario World.
Yeah, they did have other kits. There was like a Mario Paint one as well, I think.
I didn't have that for a long time. I had F-Zero, and I remember borrowing Bubsy. I didn't have that one, but my friend did, and they hated it. I had that one. They gave it to me.
It's hard for me to imagine. At what point did like every console stop coming with pack-in titles? Because like obviously consoles these days don't come with pack-in titles.
Sometimes. The Switch actually usually does. You get one game usually. Often Mario Kart 8 is the game you get with your Switch.
I guess it's just been too long since I purchased my Switch to remember getting a free game.
It's entirely possible that you can get one without one. PlayStation demo discs. Armored Core was on those, and Parappa the Rapper. It's fine. Those are good games that you can play 5 minutes of, and then wish you could buy for 50 bucks. There are 3 minutes left in this thing. The Kami's got 1 health left. They're fighting this guy. Looks good.
That's a dead guy. That's what that is.
Nice work.
Wait, is that a clear?
I think so. I'm not 100% sure, but it looks like it's me. There's a spider in the sky. Is that something? Looks like there's a spider.
That is something. If I remember correctly, the story of this game is that your sister, like Josephine or something, got kidnapped. Let me look up the manual. Josephine. Jackie Chan and his twin sister Josephine were 2 of China's best kung fu masters. Kung fu fighters. Trained together from birth, they were a formidable team. All was fine until their master's archenemy, the Sorcerer, returned from the Great Wall to seize power and rule China. Sorcerer put a spell on Josephine and made her disappear, believing that neither twin would be strong enough to defeat him without the other.
Since you're bringing up the manual, that's another thing that's changed. It's not just not getting a game for free, but the manuals have disappeared, and the bonus content and stuff you get is like nothing. It used to be you could get like Killer Instinct was a black cart that came with a CD on the side and its own jewel case with a whole album on it. That wasn't even like a collector edition. That was just the game. You could expect that kind of stuff back then. Now they give you a giant DVD kit with no game in it. Just a download code, maybe. No manual. Weird plastic to put on your shelf.
Switch games still come with... No, I guess they don't come with manuals either. Oh my god, nothing comes with manuals anymore.
They don't. They come with a ridiculously oversized plastic thing that even has the clip to contain a manual, but never does.
Man. We live in the worst version of this world.
No fun times have begun.
That's what they took from us. We could have manuals. This is what they took from us.
Oh, manuals were so good. They're just fun to read. You just open it up, you get some plot, you get some art. It's free art.
I loved video game manuals. I remember renting video games as a kid. What a treat it was when the game would actually have the manual with it and you got to read it on the way home from the video rental store. Rentals
were great for that because there's a little place in the back of the manual for notes from the player, and you can just write in some cool stuff. You could have some passwords or something in there, you never know.
To whom it may concern. Just written right in the back of the notes.
What's the coolest bonus content you got with any of your games? Got any collectible stuff?
Nothing I can think of.
The Witcher 1 is a really lousy
I was a terrible
PC
collector growing up.
But it came with like a map and stuff. And 3 CDs of music. Time is almost up. The spider's red. I think that's a clear in the last 3 seconds. Time. The race is complete. Nice work. We saw 1 finish.
Which is pretty impressive.
Yeah. Alundra and other working design games were really interesting because the working designs people would do weird collectible stuff. Like every disc of Alundra came in like one of 6 cover arts on the disc itself, and you wouldn't be like opening like a little, you know, toy, and you wouldn't know what's inside the egg. It would be that like that. You wouldn't know which one you would get. That was pretty cool. Hey, thanks for playing, everybody. That was a fun game to watch through. Thanks for joining me, Author Blues.
Of course. Take it easy.
Yep, good race.